You know, the shilling has hit an all-time high. Inflation, and with that, just after the GES, Global Entrepreneurship Summit, many entrepreneurs are very optimistic. It is time to rush to the bank and get a loan to have a seed capital and so on and so forth. But with this increasing lending rates, what is the future for our businesses? Will the banks remain relevant now that you are one of the leading banks in Kenya? What's your take on the whole scenario?
Okay, let's first of all understand why the shilling is where it is. If you understand it, then we know how to correct it and the challenges. Our shilling is free floating. That means it's determined by market forces. And it's a subject of import and export. The challenge we have in our country is that we are importing more and more, and we are exporting less and less. So the shilling then has to find its natural position. Over and above that, there are also other global forces that are affecting the shilling. And one of them is the strengthening of the dollar. The US economy is growing, and growing faster than before. And so their own currency, because their own currency is a global currency, so their currency is strengthening, and for us we cannot respond, because our response should be we export more. And what should we be exporting? If you look at a country like Brazil, 10 years ago, their number one export was coffee. Today, their number one export is aircraft. Even Kenya buys them, embryos. They are made in Brazil. So we need to rethink our economy and make sure that we export more, and anything that young people who are here are doing, we need to recognize it and then see how to fund it. And then when we fund it, then we scale it. And then when we scale, then we get more forex, and so therefore we have the same money to import. Our current account deficit now is pretty high. It's over 10%. That's the difference between our export and imports, and it is not sustainable. So we need to see how we can import less and then export more. Then we can stabilize the shilling. Of course, once the shilling deteriorates, it affects one thing called inflation, which is the general rise in prices. That's inflation. Now, when inflation rises, of course, it affects the price of money, which is interest rates. So, as we speak now, interest rates are generally going to tend to move upwards. And that will be punitive for anybody who is coming for a loan. So we need to then ask ourselves, what do we need to do? This general rise in the prices, which is then affecting interest rates, it cannot be solved through another route, which is government needs to spend less. Because one of the reasons why interest rates is going up, in addition to just inflation, is that government also is the biggest taker of money from the market. And that taking of money is through treasury bills. So government comes to borrow from the market. I need to ask yourself, what is government taking that money at what price? So what we're saying is that let us hope it's a temporary thing, and that temporary thing should not then scare you from taking a loan. But there are many other opportunities for you to obtain a loan. You can go to your cooperative. So make sure you save. Okay, you can save some money. You can take a loan from your cooperative, and then you can also take from a bank. Those of you who are exporting can also, if you are earning in foreign currency, you can take a loan in the currency for which you earn, typically the US dollar, which, if you look at the interest for US dollars, it's between 6 and 8%. So those of you who are having ideas and you want to export and you earn in dollars, take a loan in dollars. Then you then enjoy a lower interest. But in the local currency, it's now a little more expensive. So we hope it's temporary, but the biggest culprit is always government. Government is still borrowing a lot from the market, and then it's pushing prices up. So young people from Kenya, let's export more. If we export more, we earn more, and then we